On YouTube, this is Out of Death Dealer Gray. This is another vlog, and this is completely unrelated from battle rap, but I will do that one very soon. Now, I have a question for these so-called I don't see color people. How don't you see color? The entire fabric of our nation has been built upon color, the color of people, giving people labels, systemically dividing people based on ways of living, statistical numbers about how many minorities of each group should have jobs in certain places. I mean, they have to meet a certain quota of blacks, Asians, Latinos, and other ethnicities in this country. So how is this country not built upon racism? That's a systemic way to divide, control, and subjugate a people. You're controlling their movements, how many of them can make jobs in your institutions. I mean, you built this country. So, I was watching a video of Quanell X. I don't agree with a lot of his things, personally. I'm more of a Umar Johnson, Dick Gregory. These are people that I look to when I like to listen to knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? To the truth. Our history. Not his story. And I was watching, he was marching through a white neighborhood, and they were screaming, USA, USA. Now, no, they're marching to bring awareness to the Million Man March, you know, for African-American males being systematically murdered by police. I mean, we know this as a fact of life, the logical thinking people. And it was like a chant of, we don't want to hear racism. And then I heard another video of another white guy confronting Quanell X, saying, why do you always talk about the racism and lynching? Like, you know, we shouldn't be talking about black or white problems. We talk about American problems. Excuse me? We're in America. So if blacks in America are being treated wrong in America, motherfucker, that is an American problem. I would assume we're considered American. Oh, no, because it's not a white American problem. That's what we need to talk about. We should complain about Obama, right? We should complain about... What else should we complain about? Let's ask a bigger question. As a black man or black woman, a black, a melanated goddess in this country, and I turn the news on, and I see faces of people that look like me dying in the exact same circumstance on a semi-regular basis. By officers killing unarmed people in unprovoked situations that the supposed suspect didn't even initiate. Some of them were unlawful. These people get off. And you can bring up exceptions of this black guy killed this white guy. But this has been a systemic issue where black lives and Latino lives have just been able to be discarded. And the police just get off for a couple decades. Decades. You feel what I'm saying? Do white people get killed by police? Without a doubt. If a white person takes a cop to court saying this cop beat the shit out of me, I ain't do nothing wrong, and it's on video, someone's going to be reprimanded. If this man chokes the shit out of Eric Garner on video, like chokes him to death over cigarettes, Eric Garner didn't get violent. I mean, he didn't resist arrest. He literally was getting choked, tried to breathe as these niggas pounded on him. And what happened to the cop? Like, who's reprimanded here? The dude shot the guy in the face asking for his ID, and the nigga try to drive off, so you reach for your pistol and you shoot him in. Like, why is the initial reaction for black men to always shoot them? Our women get locked in jail. Sandra Bland gets killed in jail. I don't give a fuck what they say. Gets killed in jail. 3 other African American women are murdered in jail within the same time period. Probably hundreds more that are undocumented. You know what I'm saying? We see this. We know it's an issue. So if this isn't an issue that another community isn't speaking on, and it's just us speaking on it, then it's a black problem. Native Americans speak on it because they face it just as bad, if not worse. But do we go at them saying, oh, those natives, but they're not no. You not me personally, they're brothers in the same plight, along with Latinos, along with Asians who get discriminated against based on their ethnicity. But if they have particular problems that affect their community, I'm not in their face telling them that's not a black problem, though. You feel what I'm saying? It's a matter of empathy towards a particular group of people because they're human beings and they have a right to vent their frustrations of being dissatisfied with the system that has been perpetually oppressing them, keeping them economically enslaved. These are things that we have to take into consideration before we come to the conclusion that, oh, what you're saying separates us. No. When we accept people as individuals, that even if we can't relate to them, that the common human connection is that we all are human. I don't have to see a white man and agree to every struggle that he faces. But if I don't agree with it, even if I cannot fathom how it's a problem, morally, if it is something that is unjust, I will stand by it. Period. If you go to a black community to tell them to stop talking about racism, focus on American problems, when lives are being lost, that's an insult to the significance of the problem at hand. Blacks are responsible for the condition they're in? Who in the fuck remembers when the ghetto was a nice place and we destroyed it? They raise the rent and the property value that we can afford. When they get rid of us, they sell this shit. So they don't even sell it to give to other people. Then when they need their white people to work in big corporations, they're just going to raise the property value again, build some expensive housing projects they can't live in. When it loses value, it becomes a project area where we can live in. It's a circle. You keep niggas in these areas. Liquor stores, drug stores, no hospitals, no recreational centers. No job market. These kids don't have no access to actual equal opportunity in terms of education, knowledge of oneself. The media doesn't teach them to value their individuality. It's a Eurocentric emphasis when you look at media. So how can you blame? How can anybody look at, how can anyone look at the condition of African Americans and other minorities in this country and say it's their fault? It's ridiculous. Look at the history of this country. Look at the history of Native Americans in this country. Of Africans and Native Americans in this country. Two of the people who face some of the most overt genocide in this country. Look at Latinos. Look at Latinos in the discussion. They have to fight for their rights. Just like every other group here, from Asians to Latino. Why are we fighting for the right to be human? For people to care that African Americans are... Why is there a whole side of this country that says, we riot for the cops? Why? They don't give a fuck about you. You know, there's a section of racist white America that they're racist not because... See, these people feel threatened because if you focus on black problems and black people are given the reparations along with Native Americans, they feel that they're going to lose this country. It won't be America anymore. The problem is that before Europeans came to America, America was America. It was its real name before we bastardized a name for it called America. So before we complain about why do you bring up race all the time? Motherfucker, because it's there. If someone has cancer, I don't ignore it and say, don't speak on it. It'll go away eventually. No, that motherfucker dies because I didn't pay attention to his issue. They're trying to exterminate us. They're trying to exterminate us economically, spiritually. I mean, the religion that most blacks are spiritual people, but the religion that they've beat into us for 400 years is not our religion. It's not. These religions, they take their core blueprint from Africa. Adam and Eve. It's taken from Africa, atom, which meant son. We mistranslated it to mean man. Not convinced? Making man of clay? That's taken from Egypt, hieroglyphics. Jesus, Jesus, the Black Madonna, Isis and Horus. The cross, they chiseled out the circle on top, the Anak, which meant that the women who have awesome spiritual connections with the Creator, with their man, the man and woman, a God and a king and queen, a God and goddess coming together creates a pure life. That's what they've stolen from us. That's our anger. And not even understanding who we are as a people. So when someone tells me, talk about American problems, motherfucker, these are American problems. We built America. So our problems are American problems. Period. I don't fathom why you fight so hard for something you don't have. White supremacy is an illusion. I need you to understand that. It's an illusion. We get treated bad. You're not that much better off. We're 3 steps down the staircase, but motherfucker, you ain't halfway neither. You're fighting for the chance to one day be the elite. Because before there was racism, it was classism. It was rich and poor. Whites and blacks were poor and slaves in this country. We almost burned the country to the ground. Because apparently, when you motherfuckers are treated just like niggas, you don't really see color too much. But when you're treated slightly above niggas, and instead of treated like dogs, you're treated like freckle-faced stepsons, then it's like, well, maybe he deserved it. He probably shit somewhere. That's how y'all look at these. Y'all look at these cute dogs. It's a section of America that just cannot accept black people being on equal footing because they feel if we're on equal footing, we may take their jobs and take their women. It can't be. We can flourish all together. The white community can flourish. The black community can flourish. The Latino community, the Asian community, all these communities can economically succeed. Why can't that happen? We can't all live together. I mean, white culture is oppressive, built on annihilating all that's there. So maybe that's why you can't, because your culture is naturally built on subjugation. Is that it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me know something. From what I see. See, in this country, we can't afford to not know you and how you think and operate. Because they'll cause death if we don't understand how you operate. Your natural fear of us. Your belief in the stereotypes that you have perpetuated of us. Of eugenics. You believing that we're inferior based on science. Which, if you actually pay attention to actual, factual findings in the scientific community, you'd realize the complete opposite. This melanin in our skin traces millions of years. This is black gold, baby. You can only find this between the plants and the earth around you and the heavens. We're beyond inferior. Let's get that clear. But what do you fear the most? Do you fear a black planet? Or do you fear that you won't be the top of the food chain, that everyone will just be on the same level? I mean, if you fear that, if that's your fear, well, nigga, you part of the motherfucking problem. And that's my rant. If you don't like it, suck dick. I mean, really, like, choke on horse dick and die. Because I ain't gonna stop talking about it. Because when I see somebody that's ailing and dying, I'm gonna speak on their sickness until somebody gives them some fucking attention. So as long as racism is there, I'm opening my mouth. And I'm blowing words and gospel at any motherfucker who don't want to listen. Because if y'all not going to pay attention to it, then y'all just going to have some shit splattering all across your face for me spitting on you every fucking day. Don't like it? Tough. Because you're going to get it.